everyone. My name is Dennis, and this is Ask KEBS. This is Kenya Bureau of Standards. This is our inaugural 2024 Ask KEBS edition. We are here to answer all your questions, majibu, maswali ambayo yote umekuwa nayo. Leo ndio siku ambayo tutakupatia haya majibu. We are talking about product certification today as our first session. This is going to be a very interesting session. Let me just tell you, if you're watching us from wherever you are, if you're watching us from Facebook, if you're watching us from YouTube, if you're watching us from Twitter, this session is for you. Hii session ni yako tuulize maswali kwa sababu hapa Kenya Bureau of Standards, we want to make sure that every time you have a question, every time you have an input, every time you have a concern, we are able to answer it or deal with it as it comes. So this is the Ask KEBS session. My name is Dennis, and I'm so excited to host a good friend from the Quality Assurance Department. So who am I speaking to today?
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Karibu.
My name is Veronica Kivingia, a Principal Quality Assurance Officer,
Yes.
Kenya Bureau of Standards, based at the headquarters.
So tell me about what do you do at KEBS? You're a Principal Quality Assurance Officer, but exactly what does your job entail?
So, as a Quality Assurance Officer, the job entails interaction with manufacturers with the main aim or goal of product certification. So, on daily basis, we do interact with the manufacturers to ensure that the products that they are producing or manufacturing, they are able to get the certification for what mwananchi wa kawaida anaita the KEBS license or KEBS permit.
So you're the one who makes sure that a product that I am going to buy or consume in the market has been checked somehow. Is it?
Yes, so basically we do the verification of the products that are manufactured locally to ensure that they are able to meet already set requirements or standards.
So you're not the one who comes out and says unga ya ugali inafaa kukua hivi, maji inafaa kukua vile. Who determines that?
At Kenya Bureau of Standards, especially quality assurance, we don't do the formulation. So the formulation we do it is done by the manufacturer. So they are the ones who come up with the idea. They have the ones to create the idea, start the manufacturing. Then now, as we come in to certify that product, to ensure that this product conforms to the set requirements or standards.
So these standards are the guidelines. They are what says what that product should be.
Yes, these standards and guidelines, they give specifications, set requirements, what the product is supposed to meet, their requirements. And as quality assurance, we take part in technical committees in the review and development of these standards to ensure that as we are implementing the standards, we already understand what is it that we are implementing.
Okay. So then let's talk about this process you do. This process called product certification. I know there's quite, umesema hizo license, permit. What is it all about when somebody who hears this word today called product certification? What is it all about?
Product certification is a process, and I'm very glad that I can be able to demystify the product certification.
Yes,
it's a very simple process. If you get the right information from the right people, and that's why I normally tell my clients that they have to search for this information from the right places. So if they visit our offices, if they navigate through the Kenya Bureau of Standards website, they can be able to get the whole process of product certification. So the process starts from the manufacturer, as I said. They come up with the idea, they start developing products, they come up with their own formulations. Then now we come in after they have done the application. So once they have done the application, that is where the quality assurance officer comes in to guide and walk the journey with this manufacturer.
So a quality assurance officer is like a person who will tell the manufacturer, this is where you're supposed to be going.
Yes, the quality assurance officer is there to guide the manufacturer, but he's not there as a consultant.
Okay. It's good to make that clear.
There's nothing like between guiding and doing consultancy. So as a quality assurance officer, we are not consultants. However, we guide and walk the journey with the client to ensure that their products are able to meet the requirements of set standard.
And then who then can become a manufacturer in Kenya? Is it me, or do I need to, or how does that process look like? You say manufacturer, you didn't say any person who wants to make. Why then is that the case?
So anybody can be a manufacturer in Kenya. Anybody in Kenya can start business. They only need to come up with that idea after creating that idea, they know what it is that they want to do.
Okay.
So if you're a registered company or you're in associations, self-help group, you can start something. You can come up with ideas. Maybe uone kuna hii product unataka kufanya, then you start with that idea. Then after that, for you to access the market, then you need to have your products certified. And that is now where the quality assurance officer of the Kenya Bureau of Standards comes in.
Okay. So actually that is in line with the Standards Act, I believe?
Yes, that is in line with the Standards Act. So we are guided by the Act to ensure that we protect our consumers and save the products that are being manufactured, they are safe for use.
So now you've told us about that once I decide to be a manufacturer, then I can be able to proceed to come to KEBS. But what am I coming to do to KEBS? Or how do I then get to have a quality assurance officer start the journey with me?
Okay, the moment you start doing the manufacturing, or you start thinking about manufacturing in Kenya, basically maybe you have gotten this information through our website.
Yeah.
We also do a lot of awareness.
Yeah.
We create awareness. We do a lot of trainings for our manufacturers. So during those forums, we try as much as possible to disseminate information. We also do it through campaigns, like for example, what we are doing now, so that Kenyans can be able to know where to start when it comes to the product certification process.
Okay.
And for those who don't understand or have no access to that information, we have a lot of forums where they can get that information. Through the KEBS website, they can be able to access the online platform for the application. And for those who are not able to navigate through the website, they are also able to walk in and get that information. But when it comes to the application process, because we have digitalized that application process, then they don't need to walk all the way to Kenya Bureau of Standards. They can be able to access that information and be able to do that application
from wherever they are.
From the comfort of their home.
Now, before you even tell us about that process and tell us how that looks like, let's talk about the output, the marks you talked about, the licenses. Easy Mihuri za KEBS, easy stamp za KEBS. I'm using all the words I've heard these licenses being called out here. What are they? How do they look like? Is it something that I can see and identify, oh, that's a KEBS mark?
So those licenses, the common mwananchi anaziita KEBS license or KEBS marks.
Yes.
But basically, this is just an output of the entire product certification process. So once we start the process, the output or the end result is the certification marks. And we have different types of certification marks. These are different schemes that we are running. Currently, we have the local standardization mark. That is a certification for products that are locally manufactured.
Made in Kenya.
In Kenya. Made in Kenya. Made in Kenya. So for manufacturers, if you are making your products or producing your products in Kenya, you are required to have that standardization mark of quality. So the process still the same. You need to do the application process for you to be able to acquire the mark. We need to review your process, and that is where we come into contact with the manufacturers, because that one is not online. We have to do it on site because we want to guide the manufacturers. We want to see the process. We want to see if they're able to meet the requirements of the set standards, even their own standards for the in process. And then from there, then we can be able to draw the sample from site, we do the testing for them. Once they comply with the set standards, that is when we are able to issue the standardization mark permits.
So that's the standardization mark.
That is the standardization.
What would be our S mark?
Hiyo ndio inaitwa HES mark. Yes.
So that is one of the marks, the
That
schemes
is,
you have.
Yes, that is one of the marks. And for them to identify this standardization mark, when they look at these products at the labeling, where there's the KEBS logo, there's the wording SM, then hashtag, then there's a number that follows there. That number is the permit number. It is very specific to that product. It is also very specific to the site where that product is produced.
So,
and it's also specific to the brand associated with that product.
To the product, to the site,
and
to the brand. Why that? Why can't it be just nimepitishwa na KEBS? Then nimepewa number. Why is it that so unique?
Yes, umepitisha na KEBS,
Yes.
but the permit is not transferable.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because for you to acquire that permit, it's a process, as
Yes,
I've said.
true.
So we have tested that specific brand. So we already know that if it was issued with that permit, it has met the requirements of the said standard. So you cannot transfer that permit number. For example, we issued you with the permit number for water.
Yeah.
Then you transfer that to hair oil, for example. It is not transferable.
Yeah.
Yes, and once we issue the permit, at the back page of that permit,
Yeah.
we have outlined conditions on the use of the permit. One of the conditions is that the permit is not transferable.
Okay. So now that is the scheme for SMARC or standardization mark.
Yes.
Now talk to me about the scheme for the second scheme. You said there are several, I think 4.
Yeah, there are several schemes.
Uh-huh.
We have the standardization mark, which we have talked about.
The other one is?
Then we have the fortification logo, the food fortification logo.
What is it about?
The food fortification is basically improving the nutritional value of that product.
So in an instance then, what would that look like for me who is looking for a product like that?
Yes, for you who is looking for a product like that, it is not all products that can be able to use that fortification. We have the Ministry of Health identified some products, and that is implemented through the guidelines outlined by the Ministry of Health. For example, in Kenya, locally made products. If you look at the wheat flour, for example, the maize flour, look at the edible oils, you will find that there's a statement on fortified, iodized.
Hapo ndio imetoka.
Hapo ndio imetoka.
Fortified.
Fortified with minerals, fortified with vitamins, it has been iodized. So it has been improved.
Okay.
Yeah, it has been improved. So basically it is about improving the nutritional value of those products.
Okay. Pia mafuta ya kupika.
Pia mafuta ya kupika,
So
the edible oils.
how does that logo look like for the people who have never seen it? Is there anything unique? You told us the SMARC has SM hash.
Yes,
Uh-huh,
it
so-
has the FM hashtag. Then there's that logo. When they see a logo, it's someone who is like a maradona.
Kamtu kanakimbia.
Anataka kukimbia. That is the food fortification logo.
Okay. So that is the food fortification. Below it there is also a number.
Below it there's also a number.
So starts with FM hash and then a number.
Yes.
Okay. I hope umepata hiyo. So standardization mark chini yake kuna SM hash a number. Then chini ya fortification mark kuna FM hash and number. Those are 2 schemes.
Yes, those are 2 schemes.
Uh-huh.
Then we have another scheme. We have the ISM. It's called the Import Standardization Mark.
Tell us more about that.
So the import standardization mark is applicable to products that are coming into the country, and it is issued to differentiate between the imports and the standardization, the locally manufactured products. So for products that are coming into the country, the process is different for acquiring the acquisition of that. So we issue them with a link. If you see a product starting with a code UCR, then so many numbers after the UCR.
That are running on the
Yes,
side.
that are running on the side. Those are imported products.
So anytime I see that on a product, it should automatically click that is an
That is
import.
an imported product. So
Okay.
it is not locally manufactured.
So that is now scheme number 3.
That is scheme number 3.
Uh-huh.
Then we have scheme number 4. Scheme number 4 is the pride of all products. That is what we call the diamond mark of quality. It's a mark of excellence. That is a mark that is issued to products that have demonstrated a clean record of compliance with the set requirements. So for products, for example, products that have been issued with standardization mark
Before.
and then they have shown a clear performance record with respect to meeting the requirements of the standards, then that there's a criteria for that, then they can be issued, they can apply and be issued with the diamond mark of quality. And the diamond mark is issued for locally manufactured products and for also external products.
Oh, see, this one I can also see it for imports.
You can also see it for imports. There are imports that will come into the country and they will still bear the diamond mark of quality.
Okay. But why, when you say it is the pride, okay, you've said yes, imekuwa ni mark of excellence, but is it the same process that, when I'm looking at a product with a diamond mark, one, is it, kwanza hata kabla hatujaendelea, is there a unique thing about it as well?
Yes, there's a unique thing, and the most important thing and unique about it is even the diamond logo.
The diamond itself?
Yes, the diamond itself, the diamond logo. Then also, starts with the letter DM, then the hashtag, then there's a number. That number is unique to the permit.
So
the license permit.
let's look at a product that is made local, that has obtained a standardization mark. It is a food product, so it has probably a fortification mark, and now it is a diamond mark. So it has also a diamond mark. So what, will I see these 3 marks at the same time, or will I just see one of them?
No, you'll see the 3 marks.
All of them?
You will see the standardization mark, you will see the fortification logo, then you will be able to see the diamond mark of quality.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is a process that, but for imports, I'll only see the diamond mark.
You will only see the diamond mark, and for the imported, you will also see the UCR.
The UCR.
Yes, the UCR.
Okay. I hope mnasoma. Mimi pia nimejua hiyo leo. Thank you so much for bringing that to us who have always wanted to know the difference between an imported product, a locally made product, how to identify the marks. There are 4 marks. There is the standardization mark, inaitwa S mark, diamond mark, D mark. There's the fortification mark, or the fortification logo, and the import standardization mark, that is the ISM. So those are the marks that we have. We're also going now to the process sasa. E-process ya standardization mark, you said it's the one for local. This is the one I want us to actually concentrate on. This one where a manufacturer who is intending, for example, to put a mark on water. This is unbranded water.
Yes.
So assuming now I want to put a mark, or rather my brand on this. You said I need to either be a company or a business, and a self-help group or an organization. But then where do I go? You said our website. Is there a specific link for that? Ama it's just through our website?
Yes, there's a specific link for that. If you navigate through the website, www.kebs.org, you go to our services. So go to quality assurance, you'll be able to first access the steps.
The steps.
To acquire the standardization mark. So you look at the steps to acquire the standardization mark, and depending on the product because different products have different requirements. So depending on the product that you are manufacturing, then you look at the steps for acquiring the standardization mark for that product. During our platforms, when we are doing creating awareness, we are doing trainings, we also disseminate that information on how they can be able to start the process for product certifications. So the process starts with the application process. The company or the business has to be registered. It must have a KRA PIN. So those are some of the legal documents that are mandatory when you start the application. So the application has been digitalized. So you go through KIMS platform. Through the website, you can be able to access that link. And other than the link, there's the manufacturer's user manual, which is a guide to the applicant on how to use the platform. So once the application is done, then now we review the application documents. Because there are some documents that need to be attached, KRP. We also need a lot of information. We need to know where you are, where you're manufacturing. Remember, we have to come and look at your process. And for us to come and look at your process, we need to know where you are. So we need all that information. So basic information about the product and the process, we get it from the manufacturer. Then once we review the documents, then now we arrange for the inspection.
An inspection now has to be done.
An on-site inspection.
This is where you, as the quality assurance officer of the team, is going to the client.
Yes, that is the first meeting between the manufacturer and the quality assurance officer. Yes.
So what happens at that meeting?
So at that meeting, there's a lot that happens because basically that is where the inspection of process and the inspection of the product happens. So we start the process by doing an inspection. We look at different stages of manufacturing. Reason being, through the entire process of manufacturing, that is where you can be able to identify the challenges or the gaps the manufacturer is facing. So during that interaction, we look at the process for the receipt of raw materials. We because we want to interact with the raw materials and understand what is it that you're using.
Yeah.
Is it safe
Yeah.
for this product?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole process, what we call the in process, where you are doing the production from one stage to another, then all the way to the finished product.
Okay.
Not most of the manufacturers think that when we call out or reach out for inspection, wanaona tunaenda tu hapo upate sample imewekelewa kwa meza.
Tuchukue.
Yes, tuchukue. No. We have to inspect the premise. There's a criteria we use to do the inspection.
Okay.
There's also a contract, what we call the scheme of supervision and control.
Okay.
That is a contract between Kenya Bureau of Standards and the manufacturer.
So the two, there'll be like a legal engagement.
There is a legal engagement. Yes, there's a legal engagement between the product certification body and the manufacturer.
Okay, so I'd like you to put a pause on that so that we can actually internalize that process as you've said. So tumekutana na quality assurance officer, umesema tumesign contract. I hope watu wa nyumbani mmepata hapo. So this is where the quality assurance officer has done a meeting. Wamekutana na client, ameenda kufanya inspection, right? And amesema it's not how you assume that. Amekuja so mtolee samples. She will actually need to see how you do it, inspect, have a conversation with you. She will guide, or rather the quality assurance officer or the team will guide. That is how KEBS works. And this is how interesting our processes are. And this is how we as Kenya Bureau of Standards make sure that wakati unataka ku-apply back, hujaingia leo alafu kesho unachukua back. It is a process. So this is Ask KEBS. My name is Dennis. It's questions time. Nataka mtuulize maswali. I hope you're watching this session. I hope this session is guiding you and pointing you towards the right direction. So if you have any questions, the hashtag is AskKEBS. Use the hashtag across all our social media platforms. Uliza maswali. That is, use the comment section pale chini. Just ask any questions. Uliza vile utapata hii mark. If you have any questions to Veronica here, ask her any questions. She will be here to assist. Ama kuna hautajibu maswali? Tuko tayari kuzijibu. So now, let's talk about, you have done the meeting with your client. Umekutana na yeye pale kwa production. Umemwambia samples, umechukua, umefanya inspection. What do you do with these samples?
These samples, once we do the inspection,
yes,
we don't just pick the samples just like that.
Yeah.
Just because you have done an inspection, just pick a sample.
Yeah.
We also have to identify whether there are any gaps in the process. We identify if there's any gaps. We discuss about these gaps with the client.
Yes.
Then there's a criteria for drawing samples. So once we draw the samples, these samples are basically for testing purposes. The product has to be tested.
Si wewe utadetermine?
Sio mimi nitadetermine, itaenda kwa laboratory. So once we draw the samples, we take them to the laboratory for testing. Then they are tested against set standards.
The same standard?
Specific to the product. Yes, specific to the product. So once the testing has been done and the product complies, then there's what we call the decision committee. There's a committee that sits.
Still, I thought you are the quality assurance officer. You will be given results and see that the client has, and now say, I'm issuing a permit.
No.
How does it?
No. There's a committee that sits. Basically, it is not just about complying test reports. There's more than that. There's more than that. Because there's the inspection report. We need to see how to what extent are you implementing with regard to the criteria for inspection. We need to look at the scheme of supervision and control. The scheme of supervision and control is a guide, as much as it is a legal document that guides the product certification body of the manufacturer. It also guides on the role of the manufacturer, what the manufacturer is supposed to do to comply with the set requirements. So once the decision is made, the results are compliant, the test results are compliant, and the inspection report is compliant, then now we issue the permit.
So that is how a permit will be issued, right?
That is all the permit.
Sawa. So kama unatusikiza, kama unatuona nao umejua vile permit huwa inakuwa issued. Sio yeye kama quality assurance officer to make your decision. It's a committee that sits down and talks about that process and agrees that you actually qualify to be awarded with a permit. So this is Ask KEBS. Questions, keep them coming. Like, comment, share, follow us. This is Kenya Bureau of Standards. The hashtag shall and will always remain to be Ask KEBS. My name is Dennis. We take a short break. After this break, we'll be back now to answer those questions ambazo mko nazo. So keep them coming, keep sending them. Tumerudi. So Ask KEBS, the hashtag is and shall always remain to be Ask KEBS. And we are back to talk about, or we were talking about the process called product certification. We have heard how Veronica and the team, that is the quality assurance team, goes to the clients, have a conversation. There is a legal document, which is the scheme of supervision and control. They have a conversation. She will draw samples as per the requirements, and the samples will go to the lab. So it's not actually her decision whether the samples that she has drawn, so they will have to go to be tested against the standard. And now again, a team, which is a committee, right, that will sit and convene and make sure that the permit, or rather approve the issuance of the permit. Does this committee also reject permits?
Yes.
Why?
The committee also rejects the permits because, as I've said, there's a lot of verification done at that stage. Because basically they also have to check whether the test reports are compliant. They also have to check the quality of our inspection reports. They also have to check whether all the required documentation
Ziko sawa.
Okay.
That's interesting. When you do say that, we are very happy, and we can take a break. Let's take one break. This is Ask KEBS. The hashtag is and will always remain to be Ask KEBS. The conversation has always been on today we are talking about product certification. We've learned a lot from Veronica. She's told us so many great things about how product certification and the process of to get a KEBS mark, what you call a license, it's actually a mark. And it's a process that is the mark you're seeing is actually an output of a process that Veronica and the team actually undertake to do. So thank you so much, Veronica. I have a few comments as well. I've seen questions coming in. One person has said that, Veronica, you have really made this topic easy for us and saying that now they understand quality assurance better. They have also said that you have brought it closer to them. Thank you so much for that. I've also seen another comment. They have we are John. John has said that Dennis, you're doing a good job. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, John, for tuning into this episode. And stay tuned. Ask KEBS will always be here to answer such questions. So keep those questions coming. In case you have any other questions about quality assurance, you have questions to do with the processes that KEBS offers to Kenyans, you can always comment on this video you're watching right now, or any other social media platforms. Use the hashtag AskKEBS. My name is Dennis. What was your name
My
again?
name is Veronica Kibendia.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Watu wa nyumbani, that was AskKEBS.